Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Padoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grum Yatkripātamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinadarinam Paramanandam Madhavam. Hare Krishna. Last week we saw that how gopis were so much missing and in separation of Krishna. When Uddhava came, they were very happy and they were talking to Uddhava, inquiring about Krishna. And also one of the gopi, where he saw a bee, honeybee, and she started thinking, this honeybee is also a messenger of Krishna. And then she started asking and talking to the bee. And then they all spoke to Uddhava, and Uddhava assured them about Krishna's well-being and how Krishna remembers them and so forth. And the gopis were pacified, talking to Uddhava. And then Uddhava was getting ready to leave. Before that, he was just thinking about the gopis. And he felt these gopis were so close to Krishna compared to himself. Even though they were separated in proximity physically, but he felt that the gopis are much more greater or the greatest devotee of Krishna. Vande Nanda Vraja Strinam Padarenum Abhikshnanaha Yasam Hari Katodgitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam. He was just offering his obeisances and pranam, thinking of the gopis. He repeatedly offered his respect to the dust of the gopis of Vrindavan. And then he was getting ready to leave back to Mathura. At the time, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and all others were already gathered, and they started giving him many gifts, lot of gifts that he can take and give it to Krishna. And Nanda Maharaj was feeling so much of pain in his heart, even to think that Uddhava is going to leave, because Uddhava was staying there for quite some period. And tears were coming out of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda's eyes out of affection to Uddhava, because they considered Uddhava to be their own son. like how Krishna was. But then Uddhava has to leave, and he got ready, and he was leaving back to the city of Mathura to report back to Krishna. And then he fell at the feet of Krishna, and then they had a conversation. And Uddhava reported back to Krishna whatever has happened in Mathura. And Krishna, at the same time, was getting over there ready to fulfill his promises. If you remember, in one of the past chapters, we saw when Krishna arrived to Mathura, on the way, he met with many people, many of his devotees. And one of the devotee he met was Trivikkara, that lady who had a disfigure, right? So he met her, and she told and invited Krishna to come to her house so she can serve Krishna. At the time, Krishna told, I will come back later, but not now. And then Krishna remembered the promise that he made to her, and therefore he went to her house, and she took care of Krishna so very nicely and served Krishna with joy and pleasure. They had a nice conversation. They spent nice time together. And then after that, Krishna left to Akrura's house, because Akrura was the one who brought Krishna from Vrindavan to Mathura. At that time also, Krishna promised to Akrura that I will come to your house. Therefore, he went to Akrura's house, and Akrura served Krishna very happily. And he, of course, he spoke so many things about Krishna. He offered his prayers in many ways, both to Krishna and Balarama. And after pleasing the devotees, when Uddhava came back, Uddhava reported back to Krishna about what all happened over there in Gokula. And Krishna was happy to know this. In 49th chapter, now Krishna asked Akrura to go to Hastinapur. You all know who was living in Hastinapur, right? Yes. So someone is going to tell who was living in Hastinapur at that time. Who was there in Hastinapur, Samanvi?
Pandavas, and there was Draupadi, Kunti, all the Kauravas.
Everyone were there. Kauravas were there. They were all living together. So Krishna was concerned about his cousin, the Pandavas, and his aunt, Kunti. Therefore, he sent Akrura to Hastinapur to find out how are they doing and what's happening and how things are going over there. So Akrura comes to Hastinapur. Over there, in Hastinapur, he sees many of them, Bhishmam, Viduram, Pratam, Sahaputram cha Bahulikam. He sees Bhishma, Dhritarashtra, Vidura, Kunti, and many of the other personalities like Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Karna, Duryodhana, Ashwatthama, and of course, Pandavas. He sees everyone. And then they all welcomes Akrura and treat him very nicely. And then after he stayed there for several months. Akrura stayed there in Hastinapur for several months. And on occasion, he had many conversations with Kunti and Vidura. Right? Kunti and Vidura. And then they asked to Akrura about welfare of Krishna, how he is doing, and if Krishna ever remembers them. Kunti is asking that, Api samrinati nahas saumya pitro bhratas cha me. He says that, oh gentle one, Akrura, do everyone remembers me over there in Mathura, my parents, brothers, sisters, nephew, and other friends that I had. Does anyone remembers us? Does my nephew Krishna, does he think about us, his aunt? So she was asking all this question. And then she said, we are here in the midst of enemies, like a wolf. They are surrounding us. And the fatherless Pandavas are going through a lot of trouble because of the Kauravas. Does Krishna know about any of these things? Krishna is the only shelter for us. Krishna, Krishna, Mahayogin, Vishwatma, Vishma Bhavana, Prapannam Pahi Govinda, Shushbis Cha Avastidhatim. So she said, Krishna, Krishna, O great yogi, O supreme soul, O protector of the universe, O Govinda, please protect me, who have surrendered to you. I and my sons are being overwhelmed by trouble. You see? So she was praying to Krishna to save her. She was crying of whatever she's going through because the torture is being done by the Kauravas to her sons Pandavas. While Akrura heard this thing, then he understood what's going on over there. And then he was getting ready to leave back to Mathura. Before leaving, he goes to Dhritarashtra, who's Kaurava's father, Dhritarashtra. He thought he'll speak few good words to Dhritarashtra. This is a beautiful section. Of course, everything is beautiful in Bhagavatam. So he's trying to talk to Dhritarashtra. So he says that Bhu Bhu Vaichitrai Viryatvam Kurunan Kirti Vardhana. He says, oh my dear son of Vichitra Virya, your brother Pandu having passed away, you have assumed the royal throne. Otherwise, Dhritarashtra was not qualified to become a king. It was Pandu, his brother, was supposed to be the king. But because Pandu died, therefore Dhritarashtra became the king. By religious protection, the earth delighting your subjects with your noble character and treating all your relatives equally, you will surely achieve success and glory. So what Akrura is saying is some advices. If we're giving some advices to Dhritarashtra, is saying that if you take care of your citizen and your dependent, and you'll be glorified, you'll be very happy in your life. Not only that, you will get heavenly planet where you can go there and be happy in your next life. If you not do so, you will go to hell. You will go to hell. So I think you need to take care of your dependents, especially Pandavas, the Pandu's putra, Pandu's son, so that you can avoid visiting hell. In this world, he says that Neha Chatyantya Samvasaha Kasyachit Kinchit Saha Rajan Svinapi Dehena. He says that in this world, Dehena, in this world, we are all somehow or the other considering ourselves to be related through our body. But the relationship that we have in this world is nothing permanent. There's no permanent relationship to anyone for that matter. We cannot see things on the bodily level that she is my wife, he is my children, and so on. So he says the example that in Mahabharata, there's an example has been given where in those days, what they do is when they want to transport a log of wood from forest to the city where they live, what they do is they cut the trees. They cut the trees, and from the top of the mountain where the river is flowing, they throw the trees down there, right? And the tree logs falls into the river, and the river carries these logs, tree logs. They keep putting all the trees, the cut trees into the river, and it passes through this river, and then finally it comes to the place. When it comes to a certain place, they pull the tree logs off. That's how they used to transfer the wood those days. Otherwise, the elephant has been used also. But this is one way they do. So the Mahabharata says each one of us are like these cut trees, the wood logs, the wood logs. So a bunch of trees are put together. When there is a juncture comes, the trees which put together now get disordered and move to another group of trees. And that which is in another group, that log get mixed to another group of the trees. Therefore, from one group to another group, another group to another group. Like that, there's always some mixing happens as the river flows through its journey to the destination. Likewise, we are also came into this world like how that my father, my mother, my sister, my wife, my children. It's a group of trees together. We are traveling in the river. When I die, then I no more part of this family. Then I go to another group of trees and then becomes my family as father, grandfather, mother, wife, and children. When I die, when the next junction comes, again I move to another family. Like that, I keep changing family after family after family after family. It is just that a turning point which comes to change this turn is called death when I change my family. Therefore, no one is really permanently related to us. We are temporarily in this family called father, mother, grandfather, uncle, aunt, sister, and so forth. So therefore, what Akrura is trying to tell the Dhritarashtra is that you are so much attached to your children, especially Dhritarashtra is attached to who? Mahati?
His sons.
Yes, Dhritarashtra attached to which of his son? Whom do you really
The
like?
Kauravas.
In Kauravas, who is his favorite? I can give you choice if you want.
Duryodhana.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Duryodhana. Okay. So Duryodhana was his favorite. So he was thinking, this is my son. How can I not keep him happy? Right. So Akrura is saying further beautifully over here that he says that in the disguise, what happens is in the form of son, some people take birth in a family. That is actually a stranger who who takes birth in the family. But then what the son does is steals all the wealth of the father and uses in all sort of unnecessary sinful activities. The foolish father thinks that my son, he works so hard to save the wealth to give it to such children. The children are actually strangers who simply take birth to steal the money of the father. Therefore, your son, that's why he's indirectly giving this information to Dhritarashtra that he's too much attached to an evil son. And the foolish fathers, indulge like that, thinking that he's my son, I cannot live without him. What will happen to him if I don't save money for him? Right? If I don't give the kingdom to him. Therefore, but these children doesn't care about their father. They only care about their wealth, the wealth of the father, not really the father. Therefore, he continues saying, my dear king, looking upon this world as a dream, a magician's illusion, or a flight of fancy, please control your mind with intelligence and become equipoised and peaceful, my lord. So he's saying, Akrura is saying, please understand whatever you're going through, you're thinking now is like a dream. One time it's going to end. Okay, Rukmini, you have a question?
Yes. So because Dhritarashtra is blind, so that's why it's so easy. Is Duryodhana stealing all the wealth from Dhritarashtra?
No, no, no. Let me be clear. It's Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana is not a thief like how we think the thieves are, right? Thieves, they hide and go and try to steal something from someone else, right? Duryodhana was not such a cheap guy. Okay, he's a he also has some etiquettes. So he was not stealing like the ordinary local thieves. But what Akrura is saying is Duryodhana, what Duryodhana really wants is the kingdom, correct? He want to become a king. So you want to take the kingdom from Pandavas. You want to take the kingdom after Dhritarashtra passes away, right? It's like, another words, like stealing. Huh? That's what it meant. That's what Akrura is saying here. The children will steal the parents' wealth. So that's how Duryodhana was also having in his idea. His idea was simply take advantage of his father's affection so he can become the king. In other words, he's a steal. He steals in other ways. That's what it meant. Okay, Rukmini? And then, yeah, and then Akrura says that it's like a dream, right? It's all like a dream and fancy thing you going through. Try to control your mind. Don't get caught with the fancy things. It's all dreams, right? So once you get up from the dream, Meher, you have a good dream, right? Sometimes what happens is that when we get dream, we may become conscious. We may, come out of the dream state, but then we still remember the last part of the dream. There are some people who like to continue to pull the comforter to the face, cover themselves, and continue to dream. Even though dream is ended, they want to forcefully continue the dream. Kids, have you ever tried that one? Yes, Meher has tried that.
Prabhuji.
You also tried? Okay. Someone raised their, Bhavya says yes, Gauran says yes. So, you just pull the thing up and then start continuing your own dream now. You start building up the dream now, yourself, right? So he says, it's a dream, it's not real. It's going to end one day, right? So 1 second, Rukmini. So, and then after hearing this wonderful, great advice of Akrura, this is what Dhritarashtra says. What Dhritarashtra is going to say? Wonderful, right? Let's see what he has to say. Yata vadati kalyanim vacham dhana pate bhavan tatanya na tripyami martyu prapya yatamritam. He says, Dhritarashtra says that my dear Akrura, I have never been satiated while hearing your auspicious words. You spoke so very nicely. Whatever you're speaking is so very auspicious. It is so pleasing to my ears. It's so nectarious. It's like God is coming and talking to me. Now he goes to the next sloka. He says, Tatapi sundrita saumya hridina stiyate chale. Stiyam means to steal. Okay. Stiyate chale. Putranugraha vishame vidyut saudhamani yata. He appreciated so much, right? And then he says next that, even so, Akrura, you're so very gentle. Whatever you said absolutely makes sense to me. It's nectarious, very good advices. Now, I have an unsteady heart. I have so much affection to my sons. Whatever the pleasing words of yours cannot stay within me. It's like lightning. Have you seen lightning? Diksha, you seen lightning in the sky? In the,
Yes,
in the cloud? How long does the lightning stay? Does it stay for a long period continuously?
like it stays while the thunder is going, while the storm is happening.
Yeah, it just stays for a few minutes, few seconds. Thunder, the lightning comes and goes off. Right? Like that, whatever you spoke is like a thunder, it's like a lightning. It just so nice. But how the lightning just disappears very quickly, whatever the good thing you spoke disappears. It doesn't stay within me, just like lightning. It doesn't stay fixed within me. Who can defy the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, who has now descended in the Yadu dynasty to diminish the earth burden? You see, it seemed to be Dhritarashtra is quite aware of who Krishna is. And then he's saying that who can change the destiny? Whatever has been destined will happen. Krishna has appeared into this world. Therefore, it will, whatever he decides will happen. What can I do? So it's quite interesting point that Dhritarashtra is making here. If whatever God wants to do, that is what is going to happen. We have no control of it. We do not have control of it. Therefore, if he wants to kill some people, he will kill. If he wants to save some people, he will save. So what can we do? If he wants me to remain very attached to my sons, I will be attached to my sons. If you want me to be detached from my son, I will be detached to my son. But looks like Krishna wants me to be attached to my sons. How can I change that, Akrura? How can I change? Yes, Rukmini.
Actually, that is not true. It's not destiny. He should actually change the, yeah.
Very true. What you're saying, very true. Otherwise, what happens if everything is dictated by God? What does that mean?
That means that, for example, if Krishna doesn't want Duryodhana to sleep, then that he won't sleep. And
Yes.
if Krishna doesn't want Duryodhana to eat, he won't eat.
Yes, yes. Very nice example you gave. So that is not we do. Do we wait and let Krishna make me eat, then I will eat? If Krishna tells me to sleep, I will sleep. We don't do any of those things. We make our choice. So God has given us given us the will, free will to make choices in our life. He doesn't interfere in our choices. But based on our desire, the Lord fulfills that. If you want to be bad, the Lord says, so be it. If you want to be good, the Lord says, so be it. Right? So he doesn't interfere in that particular aspect. So Dhritarashtra is saying that who can change anything? It's really not applicable in this case. So he's just trying to find some loopholes, trying to give all these reasons, unnecessary reasons. If you know all this, why don't you behave properly? We may ask Dhritarashtra, looks like you know everything. Looks like you know Krishna, Supreme Lord. Why don't you become proper, Dhritarashtra? Why don't you behave well? Why don't you give the at least few villages to the Pandavas? Why can't you do this one? And the Dhritarashtra response is, no, it's all based on fate. It is fate. If it has been destined that I have to come to the class today to hear Bhagavatam, I will be joining the class today. If it has been destined that I should not be attending the Bhagavatam class today, then I will not be attending. It's just imagine this particular scenario, right? So if I have to go to the temple, it has been destined that I have to go to the temple, I will go to the temple. It has been destined that I have to go and punch on someone's face, that I will go and punch someone's face, right? Why? Everything is designed, predestined. It's already been designed. I have no control over that. What do you think about it? Did you all understand what I said now? Do you have control or you don't have control of things? Let's hear from Samanvi. Samanvi, do you have choice? You have do you have any little bit of power to make decisions, or whatever decision that you're making is actually driven by God? Therefore, you're doing certain things. What do you think? Do you understand the question, Samanvi?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
So whatever I'm doing, I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's my decision.
It's your decision. You want to give some space to your sisters to sit next to you. Did you decide or did God decide?
I decided.
You decided. Very good. Very good. Vaishvi, you want to come and stand here, right? Because you like to come and participate in this program, correct, Vaishvi? You like to be here, correct? You like to hear stories, correct? Very good. So you make the choice to come and wear this beautiful, nice, dark blue color coat on top and stay here, right? Yeah. What do you think, Mahati? Whatever you are doing is because of your decision, your choice, or God's choice?
I think it's because of our choice.
Your choice. Anyone have a different opinion here? Because we often hear that nothing moves without a blade of grass does not even move without the sanction of God. We heard this one several times. You have something to say? No. Right? So this is a very important thing that we must understand, that there is many factors involved in this particular thing. God has given us a free will, and we can use that free will to make choices in our life. When we make choices, God sanctions the choice that we make. He only sanctions it. What's the outcome is totally depends on our karma. So the Dhritarashtra's reasoning of everything is happening because of fate. Everything is already written, right? Everything is written. Therefore, I have no control of it. Akrura, what can I do? I've been made in such a way I have to be attached to my son. That is how I am. If someone says like this, then what is the use of we sitting and hearing Bhagavatam? What is the use of we reading Bhagavad Gita? What is the use of we chanting and doing anything? There's no use of doing any of those things. Why? Because already we predestined. Nothing is going to change by you chanting, we reading Bhagavad Gita, doing services. Nothing is going to change. Then why even we have to do any of these things? Therefore, that is not the answer. We have choice. We can decide. We can change ourselves. If we are bad, we can become good. If you are mean, we can become compassionate. If you are passionate, we can become sattvic. So we have choices to change ourselves. So that we should know. Okay. So that's what the reason of Dhritarashtra, what he said to here. And then he said, my prayers and obeisances to Krishna, who is a creator of the universe, who has inconceivable activities. So he glorifies Krishna so much, so much. And then finally he says, I don't really surrender to Krishna, right? You say so many things. You tell Meher goes to his father and says, Father, Dad, Papa, I love you, Papa. I do. I thank you so much, Papa. You gave me a nice shoes. You put me in a nice school. Thank you so much. I love you so much. But I don't listen to you, Dad. What? You said you love me, Meher. Yeah, I love you so much, but I don't want to listen to you. Right? I don't want to really, serve you, be subordinate to you. I don't really do any of those, but I love you. It doesn't make any sense. If you love someone, then you do what they ask you to do. Right? Sometimes it may be something we have experienced this one in our families, between our siblings, between our parents. We may not like to do certain things, but the parent may want you to do something, but we do it anyway just to keep them happy. That shows our love. Sometimes we have to go out of our thing, provided whatever they're asking and whatever they're demanding is as per dharma. Right? For example, in the case of Prahlad Maharaja, none of us can be as affectionate, caring, loving to our parents than Prahlad. He was so much attached to his father. Prahlad was so attached to his father, not because he's father, but Prahlad Maharaj was seeing everyone equally. But then, because the father has given him birth, he was very respectful, and therefore he likes him very much. But then, if he likes him so much, then he should have followed what Hiranyakashipu said. Right? If you love someone, you better follow that person's instruction. What do you think? Then why did not Prahlad follow his father's instruction? Yeah, Samanvi.
Because Lord Vishnu is his actual father.
Very good. And then Rukmini, you raised your hand and you disappeared. What is that you're going to say?
That even like if you love someone, it doesn't. But if he has bad qualities, it doesn't mean that he should do the same bad qualities, and sometimes it doesn't mean that he should do the same thing of what he do.
Very nice. Thank you. Mahati?
Prahlad did not follow what his father said, because whatever his father is saying, he is saying to do bad things.
Very nice. Good points. You're all so brilliant. You know the entire subject matter, the essence of the subject. So yes, because the father was telling adharma, bad things. Right, Vaishvi? Hiranyakashipu was telling to Prahlad what? Don't chant Krishna's name. Right? If you chant, I will beat you. I will kill you. That's what Hiranyakashipu told Prahlad, correct? Is that nice? Is that nice? Not nice. Does your father anytime tell you, Vaishvi, don't chant Hare Krishna. Chant Nama Om Namo Raviye Namaha. Does he say that? Chant my name. He doesn't tell that, right? He tells chant Hare Krishna. Like that. Okay, so therefore love doesn't mean we blindly follow the adharma. We should follow the dharma. Now, after Dhritarashtra spoke this gave a great lecture, and Akura understood. I am talking, if you go and blow, take a blower and blow in the ear of a dead body, what is the dead body going to say? Meher? What is the dead body going to say when you take a blower and blow? You do it on the ears of the dead body. What is the dead body going to do, Meher?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing. Why? Because it's a dead body. And what is the year of you going and giving advices to people like Dhritarashtra is as good as talking to a dead body. No point, no use. Akrura understood. There's no point in talking to this person. It's just simply waste of time. And then he says goodbye to everyone and understood the attitude of Dhritarashtra that he is not going to change. He is going to continue his business however he is, only taking care of his children, but not the Pandavas. Then he wanted to go back and report everything to Krishna and Balaram. So he went back to Mathura and then explained everything that happened over there in Hastinapur to Krishna. And Krishna, after hearing this one, he became very concerned, very much concerned. And that ends the chapter 49. And chapter 50 is about where Krishna establishes the city of Dwaraka. So Krishna is born in Mathura, went to Gokula and stayed for 10-11 years, and then came back to Mathura. And then from Mathura, he is going to move to Dwaraka. And that is what this particular chapter is going to talk. The wives, if you remember, Kamsa had two wives, Asti and Prapti. Kamsa is no more, right? He's dead. Kamsa had two wives. And these two wives, after their husband Kamsa was killed by Krishna and died, then they were in a miserable condition and they went to their father. Their father is another big demon. His name is Jarasandha. Jarasandha.
Jarasandha, I know Jarasandha.
Oh, is your classmate? He's not your classmate, right? You don't want to have Jarasandha as your classmate. Okay. So the sorrowful queens went to their father and started crying, Father, Father, we lost our husband. He started crying. Where is Vaishvi? Samanvi? She's not here. So Jarasandha, after hearing this one, he became so very angry on Krishna, angry on Balaram. He just couldn't take that his daughters are widow without husband. He doesn't want to see that the cause of his daughters to be widowed is Krishna. So he decided that he will finish Krishna. He will kill Krishna. Remember the Kuvalaya Pita, the elephant, was belonged to Jarasandha. As a dowry, as a gift, he gave that elephant to Kamsa. And that elephant was such a great elephant, powerful elephant, Krishna simply killed it. And Jarasandha came to know about that. But then he thought, that is nothing. but I can finish these boys. I can kill these boys. So he was very angry, and then he was ready to go and fight with Krishna with 23 Akshoganis. Okay, 23 Akshoganis. He was ready to go and fight.
What is Akshogani, Prabhuji?
Oh, Akshogani means one Akshogani has 21,870 chariots and 21,870 elephants and 109,650 infantry. Infantry means the soldiers who walk on their foot to fight. And there are 65,000 soldiers on the back of horse. That makes one Akshogani.
Wow.
And can you tell me how in the Kurukshetra war, how many Akshogani was on Pandava's side and how many Akshoganis were on Kaurava's side? Does anyone know?
I think in Pandava side there was 10 Akshogani.
On Pandava's side, 10 Akshogani. Okay, and Kaurava's side? Okay, you said one, so let's wait to hear from Samanvi. Do you know totally how many Akshogani was participated in the Kurukshetra war?
I'm not sure.
How many chapters do we have in Bhagavad Gita? Who knows? Yes, Samanvi?
18.
Are you sure? Think about it. Think about it. Is it 18 or 19? Think about it.
I think 19.
Are you sure it's 19?
18. 18.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Samanvi. I shouldn't put you in like this. I'm sorry. But yes, you said rightly. It is 18. Okay. So 18 chapters. In Kurukshetra war, there were 18 Akshoganis were there. In 18 Akshogani, there were certain numbers on the Pandava side and certain numbers on the Kaurava side. You know the number? That is anyone? 11 of them.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Priya Mataji. Go ahead.
No, I was just asking, is it for is it kids question or the adults question also?
By heart, you're also a kid, so you can participate.
Oh my God. So I believe like for Pandava side, it is like 7 Akshanis, and for the Kaurava side, it was like 11 Akshanis.
Perfect. Everyone clap. Give a hand for the kid, Priya Mataji. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so there was 11 on the Kaurava side and 7 on the Pandava side, makes it 18. And just imagine the number I told you. Does anyone remember what the number I said? How many elephants were present in one Akshogani? Close to 21,870 of them, and 21,870 chariot warriors, and 65,000 of the warriors on the horse, and 109,650 soldiers on foot. That makes one Akshogani. Can you imagine the battle that took place?
Very dangerous, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Very dangerous. I might even faint for one day when I heard this.
Yeah, so that means 18 Akshogani together fighting. My goodness, right? And then the war happened how many days? Does anyone know? Kurukshetra war, how many days it happened? Diksha.
18 days.
Very good, very good. Do you know how many volumes of volumes there in Mahabharata? Rukmini, you know? Go ahead.
18.
I think you're all making now all wonderful guesswork. Right, that is correct. 18. So the 18 has a very special place in the scripture, looks like. So 18 Akshogani, 18 days, 18 volumes, right? And many things are there about 18. So this Jarasandha, he came with 23 Akshohinis. 23 Akshogini means is much bigger than the Kurukshetra. Much bigger than Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra only had 18. So when Jarasandha came, when Krishna came to know that Jarasandha has come to fight, assembled with all his troop and everyone, and then he was ready to fight. At the time, what Jarasandha said was quite interesting. And before that, Krishna said, I will destroy this Jarasandha. I'll finish all his Akshohinis. I will take care of everything, because the purpose of me coming into this world is to annihilate the miscreants, all the demons. So here's an opportunity. All the demons are coming together by the leadership of Jarasandha. Therefore, I can take care of this one and protect the religion and finish all these people. Thinking like this, thinking this way, Krishna got into chariot and went to fight over there. Okay. At that point, Krishna and Balarama also joined Krishna. They were ready to go fight, and they blew the conch shell. They blew the conch shell. At the time, Jarasandha saw Krishna, and then he said, this is what he says. He says to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, you are a bacha." You know what bacha means? He doesn't say bacha. You said you are a kid, right? You are a kid, a lowest of men. I do not wish to fight with you. I do not wish to fight with you. Let's see here. Diksha, would you like to go and fight with an ant that is going in your house, in the corner of your house? Would you go and fight with an ant?
No.
Oh, you want to fight with an ant?
No.
Why not? Why not?
I just take it and put it outside.
No, I'm not telling what you will do with the ant. Why you will not fight with ant?
Because everything is Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna. You are a great soul. I shouldn't have asked this question to you. Rukmini, you tell.
Because Krishna created the ant, and in the ant's heart there is Krishna, and even in the little species we should not harm them.
I'm keep forgetting whom I am talking to. You are all very elevated, great souls. I am asking a childish question to you all without understanding your position, right? I'm going to just move on with, I'm not going to challenge any more these sort of type of questions to you all. Okay, anyway, that's very good. Nice answers. But, like how we don't go and fight with an ant. We don't fight with an ant. We can fight. We may fight with the people who are equally with us in our height, in our weight, in our age, etc. Right? In our strength. We may fight with those people, but we don't go and fight with mice and cockroach and ant and things like that. Right? Maybe someone Mahati may fight with her strong brother. Our brother may fight with her, but no, they will not go and fight with a cat and mice and things like that. Therefore, Jarasandha was saying to Krishna, "You are a tiny little boy. By fighting with you, it brings a big insult to me. You are not anyway equal to me, Krishna. You're not equal to me at all. There's no point in fighting with you. You are a cowherd boy. You are fit to graze the cows. That's all. You can go behind the cows. You can go behind the girls. You can steal butter. You can eat butter. You can play around. But fighting and wars and battle, this is not your game. You please get away, move away from my way. So let me fight. If I can fight with your brother, Balaram, I can fight with him, but not with you. You fool! My God, how dare Jarasandha calls Krishna as fool, right? You fool who keep yourself hidden. He says, what did Krishna do? It ran away. Krishna, as soon as he was born, he just escaped from Mathura, right? He escaped from Mathura. And then he was hiding there. That is what he's saying. Krishna had a reason to do these things. But then this foolish person, Jarasandha, was saying, you ran away, you hid yourself out of fear of your life. So therefore, I don't want to fight with someone who are frightened, who are afraid. who are very concerned about their life. So I will leave you, I will spare you, you go away. I will not fight with you, but you, Balarama, Rama, you seem to be okay. So let have a match. Let's fight. And then he was ready to fight at that point of time. Then Krishna says to Jarasandha, those who speak lot does nothing. Right? Those who speak less does more things. If you're a real warrior, stop boasting up yourself. I can do this one, I can do that one. Sometimes people speak like this. Prabhuji, call me anytime. I am there for your service. I am at your service. When you call them, they'll say, I'm busy, Prabhu. Just now I just got out of the house. I have something else to do. I'm sorry, Prabhu. And then you call a Mataji, Mataji, we need to make some garlands. Could you please come and make some garlands? You know, Prabhu, I love to do the service, but you know what? COVID is there and this is there. I can't do this one now. My family doesn't allow me. But then you see, you'll be surprised to see that family is attending other parties. Nothing is local to St. Louis. I'm just making up these things. So please do not start analyzing who's that Mataji that did like this. I didn't see her in the party. Maybe this Mataji came. Please do not get into. I'm just making up some things here, not to say about anyone. But these are the things will happen. Right? We boost up ourselves. We speak about ourselves great. When it comes to action, we fail to do that. We fail to do that. Therefore, Krishna is saying, don't speak too much about yourself. Get into action. Fight. That you ready to fight? We'll fight. Otherwise, don't talk. And then the fight started. It was so much of battle going between to and fro. And the women, the ladies of Mathura, they could not even see Krishna's chariot. It was all covered by dust from the ground because the horse, and you need the Akshohini, right? 23 Akshohini means just can't imagine. So just imagine how the fight would have happened all at the time, right? So the ladies of the Mathura, they were very worried. They were watching from the top of their terrace, watchtower. They couldn't see anything. They could no longer see Krishna or Balaram. They couldn't see Krishna Balaram chariot. They become so very concerned. They become so worried. They thought something would have happened to Krishna. What happened to Krishna? Did Krishna lose the battle? Did Krishna faint? Did Krishna could not keep up with Jarasandha? What happened to Krishna? The gopis, not gopis, the women of Mathura were very concerned and worried. So let's see what happened to Krishna next Saturday. Hari Bol. Okay, we'll stop here. 10 minutes we have, few minutes. If anyone has any questions or anything to share, please do so. And this war is not one-time war. This battle between Jarasandha and Krishna is going to happen 17 more times. Altogether, 18 times this guy comes. One thing we have to really learn from Jarasandha, seriously, the determination. Even though he's a demon, right? I fail. 17 times he failed. He never gave up the determination that want to fight, right? But unfortunately, his determination was adharma, towards adharma. But if we have a little bit of determination, what Jarasandha has towards dharma, then we will be successful in our life. He did not give up. He never gave up. We'll talk about more about this particular point in our next class. But anything to, yeah, Rukmini, go ahead.
What is the homework?
Oh, thank you. How many of you did that homework that I gave, that you talked to? You people remind me about the previous week's assignment. That's very good. Thank you. So did anyone get a chance to speak to Krishna? Samanvi, did you do that? Did you speak to Krishna? Because that question you asked last week.
Speak to Krishna, like, no.
You did not. Okay. Deeksha, go ahead.
I talked to Krishna before sleeping.
You did? You do that every day?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Beautiful, wonderful, nice. And Bhavya, go ahead. Bhavya, you must be dancing with Krishna, I guess, not just speaking. Bhavya, you raise your hand. Is that from, you, is that by,
Prabhuji, I had to sing Uddhav Kund, kind of like.
yes, I'll come to that point. I remember that. Yes, Rukmini?
Like I had a play date with my friend. When I came back, I spoke to Krishna and whatever I did there. And yeah, and I also spoke to Krishna that I will come today into the temple.
You did? That is very nice. Very nice.
Like, yeah,
What
tomorrow.
about Mahati? Did you speak to Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji, I spoke during the night.
In the night? Very good. Okay, very good. Meher, did you try to speak to Krishna? He did.
Yes.
Okay, very nice. Okay, now if you remember, Bhavya wanted to share something from last week conversation about Uddhava in Vrindavan, Uddhava Kund and so forth. So let's hear from her and then we can conclude. Bhavya, go ahead. Bhavya, you there?
Yes, Prabhuji, sorry. So I just, could you repeat the question again?
Do you want to say about Uddhava Kund?
Yeah, I could, but Prabhuji, right now I'm a little busy. So is it okay if I can do it next class?
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
I also have a slideshow, that's why. I
Oh,
also have so
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, you're in the temple, so it's okay. You take care of that. And still, thanks for joining us here. So with
sure.
that said, anyone else have any questions from our bigger kids? Anything want to share, add to our discussion?
Prabhu, from the last week I was not there. Did you also ask the bigger kids to talk with Krishna?
So this assignment is coming from Ashok Prabhu. Please, all the bigger kids, please start speaking to Krishna. And you can, if you feel comfortable, you can share with us, which will inspire us also. So that's going to be assignment for them this week then. Thank you, Ashok. Okay. Before I hand over to Ashok Prabhu, I just want to say that tonight, this evening, we have a meeting at 6:30. I want to share that actually we can go ahead and turn off the recording. Kavi Prabhu.